Hello there my fellow gamers. With the release of Black Myth Wukong, the Chinese developer Game Science not only released one of the most advanced games currently on the market in terms of visuals, but also broke quite a few records with millions of players on launch day. I am not the biggest Souls-like fan per se, but what I have seen from the game so far, apart from its benchmark, is not only absolutely beautiful, but keeps me playing despite the cruelty that comes with the genre. Speaking of the benchmark, not only is Wukong incredibly demanding, but it also looks amazing and runs very well, which is definitely not something you can take for granted in this day and age. So we will most likely integrate it into our regular benchmark suite. And to give you guys an idea of how the game runs in general, I have tested it on almost everything currently available in the world of mobile GPUs. As a disclaimer, we will only discuss NVIDIA GPUs today, because, well, running Black Myth without any form of upscaling is not an option in most cases. And with DLSS and frame generation, Team Green still has the upper hand in this regard. When it comes to AMD mobile GPUs, it's actually also not that easy to find them, and since Wukong is also a ray tracing title, they would probably also not perform up to snuff compared to their direct competition. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's kick things off at the high end because, spoiler alert, to take advantage of everything Wukong has to offer in terms of graphics, you will need at least an RTX 4080 or 4090 to get smooth frame rates. I used the Lenovo Legion 9 with its i9-14900HX and 175W 4090 to establish a sort of baseline. Kicking things off with the game rendered natively in 1440p, the highest possible settings, and without any form of upscaling, gave us around 40 FPS, and you can cut this in half by adding ray tracing into the mix. Not ideal, considering that we are dealing with the fastest mobile card you can get right now. So it's time for some upscaling, and we settled on DLSS with the slider set to 68, which should roughly translate to a quality setting found in most games. While NVIDIA's AI magic can at least offset the performance drop from ray tracing, you would also have to utilize frame generation to get above 60 FPS. I've done this for the majority of my playthrough so far, and it's been a pretty smooth experience with some stunning visuals and no input lag penalty, at least not to a point where I could feel it. Turning off ray tracing and still utilizing DLSS and frame gen boosts FPS quite a bit. And as always, the decision is yours depending on what you value more, frame rates or visual quality. That said, ray tracing in Wukong is quite subtle, but even if you do not know what to look out for, it adds this tiny bit of realism that makes the performance trade-off well worth it for me. Since you are often traveling through forests with the sunlight casting shadows on your surroundings, these look a lot better with ray tracing, and the most obvious differences you can of course find in reflections. But again, you have the option, so please let me know in the comments if you would play the game with or without ray tracing. I would really like to know how you guys would decide. Moving down in NVIDIA's product stack to the RTX 4080, I tested in the Legion Pro 7, again with an i9-14900HX, and in the Alienware X16 with an i9-13900HK, it still gave us playable, if quite a bit lower numbers as we have seen on the bigger mobile sibling. Again, you would have to utilize DLSS and frame gen to get above 60 FPS in QHD. And considering both cards in these two run at their maximum TDP of 175 watts, it also shows that the difference in CPU seems to only have a minor impact on overall performance, since Wukong is pretty much always GPU bound. Stepping down to an RTX 4070 also means saying goodbye to QHD, at least if you still want to activate ray tracing. To get somewhere close to 60 FPS, you would also have to drop it down to medium settings. You can also see the difference in performance between our two test subjects. The Helios Neo 14 really struggles to keep its GPU going, while the Blade 14, which comes with one of the fastest 4070s currently available, will give you a much better experience. The Blade will also be able to handle its native QHD resolution without ray tracing and DLSS, and once again frame gen for some added FPS boost. Moving over to the RTX 4060, it can keep up surprisingly well against its bigger mid-range brother, and both of our notebooks, the XMG Fusion 15 and the Lenovo LOQ 15, can keep up with the slower than average 4070 in the Helios. Once again, you would have to drop your ray tracing settings to medium if you want to get beyond 60 FPS, even though I would say everything above 50 FPS is quite fine for a controller game. Completely deactivating ray tracing will give you almost no additional FPS boost, but it improves your lower FPS quite a bit for a smoother overall experience. So how about the slowest currently available RTX mobile GPU? Well, we got our hands on the Asus TUF A17, which comes with one of the fastest RTX 4050s we have been able to find. And truth to be told, I did not expect it to do that good, all things considered. Yes, you will have a hard time getting close to 60 FPS, but the fact that this card can even run a ray trace title as heavy as Wukong is quite impressive if you ask me. Of course, you will probably be better off sticking to traditional rasterization, even though you will once again not have a huge boost in average FPS. But as we have seen with the 4060 already, your minimum FPS will be a lot higher, which will give you an overall better experience, even if you cannot quite get up to 60 FPS. But given that you can still enjoy one of the most demanding AAA games currently available is quite impressive for a notebook costing less or around $1,000. Alright folks, this should cover almost everything for today. Again, I was not able to get my hands on any AMD cards for this test, but I will do my very best to account for those in our future gaming videos. And since we have not done too many of them so far, please let us know what else you would like to see in the future. If you want to check prices or more detailed specs for any of the notebooks we have been dealing with today, or check out our reviews for them, please follow the links below or get shopping right away with our affiliate links. Your support is always appreciated. Thanks a ton for watching, you have been absolutely amazing as always, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.